Hey everybody, this is your host, Vinyl Man Jebb, and today's podcast is with The Legal Matters. We're talking about their upcoming release, Chapter 3, which is out April 30th. Andy, Chris, and Keith, thank you so much for coming on Jebb and Green Cast. This is our last Jebb and Green Cast for a little bit. Tyler and I are taking a break just for a little bit. I will be doing a mini-series on my own that will be coming up on the channel for Unlikely Places. Stay tuned for that, but we are taking a little bit of a mini break. We shuffled the songs, so there's really cool inspirations between each song. Just it's shuffled, not the order of the official album. Can't wait till you guys hear this album. It was an honor to be able to hear this early. Thank you again, The Legal Matters, and here we go. Hey guys, this is Vinyl Man Jebb, your host for the Jebb and Green Cast, here with The Legal Matters. Hi guys.
Hey.
Excited to have you guys on. And glad to have you guys here. I'm going to start right off with the questions. I want to start off with how did you guys meet and what brought you guys together?
We each had a mutual friend by the name of Jeff Hupp kind of tell each other about the other people here a while ago. Gosh, what was that, guys? 2012-ish, 2011-ish, maybe? So we kind of started to appear on each other's radar, and Chris had reached out to me with his band, The Subtractions, to come up and record at my studio, and Keith had come up to do some harmonies on that, and we all went out for a few beverages, not a lot, a few, and we said, hey, it would be awesome if we made a record together, and that has now turned into 3 records together.
Chapter 3 is coming out soon. Very excited. Now, do you guys have any inspirations behind your music?
I'm not sure about inspirations as much as how we approach making records. It's really about the songs. So we don't really demo things before we get together. Cool. So we just send basically voice memos through iPhones to each one. So just an acoustic version of it. And then the song basically dictates where it goes, how we harmonize, how we instrument, how the instruments will be stacked. So it's really kind of a wait and see process. I mean, we're all on the same page as far as loving Beach Boys, Beatles, Big Star.
Perfect.
So kind of going down that road is kind of an easy road. It's a very memorable road for us. So.
Yeah, we all share the same DNA. It's easy.
And since Chapter 3 is on its way, which I love, I've listened to it 3 times now before the interview today, and I just so thoroughly enjoying it. When is the official release date?
It comes out April 30th.
Perfect. Well, I'll be plugging you guys. I'll share that on the page. We'll have links down below for everybody tuned in and as well. And how long did it take from start to finish for Chapter 3?
Well, we kind of, our last record came out in 2016 called Conrad. And we usually, because this is definitely a project that we don't really stress on time. We just kind of feel it out, and timing's right. We kind of get back together and just make another record. That's how it's been working, and it's been working for us. So, but I want to say in the late 2019, I want to say October, November-ish, we started on it. And we usually do 2-3 recording sessions a month. We got about 75-80% of the record done. Then the pandemic hit. That kind of pushed us back a little bit, but it also gave us time to really listen to what we had done so far and see if we can make it better. And during that time, we had actually written a couple more songs that we might not have made the record. And we finished up, when did we finish, guys? I want to say January-ish?
Yeah.
And so really not that long as far as how many sessions it takes us to do these things. It's more or less we had to take that huge break in the late winter, early summer of the pandemic, and then we got together and finished it up.
Sweet. Have you guys toured as The Legal Matters around?
No, I would say that we're 100% a vanity project.
Okay.
So there is a lot of vanity and no playing of live. So
yeah, it adds kind of
We've
a
done
mystique
a few
to
shows.
it. Okay. Favorite show memory?
Oh gosh, so many. I mean, of all 3 shows we've done, guys, how do you pick one?
I love it.
We you know, Keith got her when we played Detroit.
Oh
Chris's
yes.
sister Michelle.
Oh Lord.
Gave Keith a present on stage, which was pretty memorable.
Very cool.
And it was
She whipped some prefab underwear at me that said "I Heart Keith," and I play that moment in my head over and over constantly.
so good. I was gonna say that the reality of this band, and we found that the harder part of performing what we do live is really a challenge when you're talking about 3-part harmonies that run through the entire song. So, you know, we would have to kind of pare down the vocals to make that work. And it's a lot of work to actually pull it off. And we've done it 3 times. Each one was an eternity amount of work. But, you know, it was a blast. And
that's awesome. Yeah.
I don't foresee us doing anything, especially coming out of the pandemic, in this regards for this particular record, but you never know for the future. But definitely no touring. That's
logistically, it's near impossible too, because Andy is half a state away from us.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, but it's so cool that you have that. Like, there you go.
That's where we want to be, buddy.
So I was gonna pull out what inspirations were behind the song "That's All" from the new album, Chapter 3.
This whole time had a hold on me. The way you are is the way you'll be.
I think when I was writing the song, I had a person in mind that I may not be the biggest fan of.
That's
me.
Yes. I always knew that song was about me, you bastard.
I cannot. Well, let's see. Hey, you're making live.
The band breaks up. On
right on Jebb and Green Cast. We caught it all.
It was an easy song to write in that sense. So it kind of brought out the little bit of the mood of the element. But those guys, you know, when we ended up putting the horns on there, and it kind of brought out a little bit of that mood. And then we also were kind of going for a real Autumn Defense feel for that song, and we totally nailed it.
I just want to know who the song's about now.
Yeah.
Right here on Jebb and Green.
I connected it now, Chris. I got
you. Maybe that's all. I'll leave it at that.
There you go. The scoop right here, right now. I really enjoyed Conrad from you guys. I think, Keith, you sent it to my way when I was ordering the Vapor Trails new CD, and I got it from Future Man Records. Thank you, by the way. And I was very excited to have Conrad. My dad and I threw that in the radio, and we're like, whoa. It just blew us away. Very much, we're big Teenage Fan Club fans. There we go. And Jellyfish as well. So it was really cool to like hear something in that similar vein, but also on its own way, its own path. I love power pop. Been a big fan my whole life. So very exciting to find more power pop bands still doing what we love, you know. And it's just so cool.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, and the next one I wanted to ask you guys about on the album was "Make Things Up." That was one of my tops for this new release.
Now everything is underway, so open up.
What was the inspirations behind that song?
I love these are all Chris songs. I want the list just to be Chris songs.
Trust me, it'll come around. Let's see. I think the beauty of Make Things Up is literally in the title. So this one is all about maybe white lies, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds like coming in my head is that "Tell me white lies, tell me sweet little lies."
Quit lying, Chris. Tell us who this song's about.
Or
it's about my other bandmate Andy.
I have to make things up to actually be in the room with those two guys. No, yeah, that one doesn't have a lot of a story behind it, but I think one of Andy's friends had mentioned it had a real kind of cool Fountains of Wayne feel to it. And
yeah, I felt that too.
I tend to agree, and I think it's one of my favorite moments on the record was Andy played the solo on that, and I think it made the song.
Moving up next is I'm gonna go with the first song. What's the inspirations behind "Light Up the Sky"?
I would say "Light Up the Sky" is I have a whole string of songs about my daughter, and I'm super proud of my daughter, and I love her to death. And I would say that "Light Up the Sky" is another Sydney song. But again, the boys made it really good.
We'll do Pain next.
Take a deep breath and let the mind take control. Pain until our death will let the highs beat the lows.
Oh man, can we do more Chris songs?
Just have
Pain.
Keith talk about Pain.
Yeah. So this song's about but seriously, this song's about one of my band members.
So good.
We
I
have
love
this
this.
one guy
I'm
who's kind
so
of
outta here.
lingers and makes my neck hurt. No, Pain's a pretty personal song. I think that was written just about a current situation, whether you deal with like emotional pain, mental pain, or physical pain. I think it's kind of just all categorized in that. And I think, seen a lot of negativity the past few years, and it felt good to kind of vent out a little bit, and hopefully someone else can relate to it. I know a lot of people have their own battles and stuff, so the gist of it,
Can I say the fun fact with that song is that that's all Andy in a string section, so that's our Yesterday, and that we're not on that one at all. But I love that song.
Yeah,
I tried to get them on there, but they didn't want to sing on it, and
Which was the right call.
Total right
it was
call.
the right call. I'll give you that. And I hope I think it comes from an honest place. Like I think that the way we write as a band, we're not trying to just put stuff out there to just make people like it. It's coming from us personally, so it feels that much more special when someone says they can relate to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's coming from the heart. It's not just coming like,
Yep.
hey, we wrote this so we know it's a hit. We wrote this in hopes it's a hit. It's coming from the heart, which I love.
Yeah.
I aspire to be that. That's awesome. And we'll go on to Independence Well Spent.
Had a laugh in the morning as you're trying to wake me. Lift the fog from the evening. Where did the road take me? When we drive, there's a car in the
Yeah, that one was kind of an exercise. I think that, I always think of when you write songs for, I don't know, 20 years or whatever, you just kind of, I think once in a while, you just got to try to shake it up and give yourself some kind of limit. And, listening to songs like Lucy in the Sky, where the verse is in 6/8 and then the chorus is in 4/4. And I was just kind of like, well, that's just crazy cool how they do that. I'm like, I'm going to try to write a song that can do that, but make it seem seamless. And this is the music nerd in me. The 8th note is the same click count. So we change time signatures, but the tempo doesn't change at all. Anyway, that was the emphasis on that. And then, I come from a very strong Elliott Smith super fan place. So anytime I can really try to do something that has a good harmonic context to it and good chord changes, I'm trying to pull it from like an Elliott Smith kind of vibe. So that's kind of where it comes from musically. The riff has a very She's So Heavy feel, that kind of thing. So but yeah, anyway, and lyrically, it's not really about much other than just trying to make the most of what you got. This is one of my rare uplifting songs. So
we found one.
It kind of comes from that place, for sure. Just kind of to make the most of what you got. It was another one of those taking inventory during a crappy time kind of thing, and you kind of look at things and go, yeah, I kind of got it pretty dang good. I really shouldn't be complaining, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's where that one came from.
I understand that completely. So that's awesome. Yeah. All right, move on to Passing Chord.
Woke up wounded, all alone. Slow resolve from 5 to 1. Taking in the damage done. Coming to and heading toward. Either way, a passing chord.
Oh, the passing chord. So that one is part of the. That was another one that I was trying to. I've been playing a lot of piano the last few years, and that was one where I just kind of found a really interesting chord progression. And I'm always enamored with like the passing chord of a song where it gets you from point A to point B, that really weird dissonant moment between two things that we're always just trying to seem to find. And the passing chord could mean anything. It could be a metaphor for whatever, just that missing piece of something that you need to get from one place to another. And it's, for me, the verse vocals where the three of us are singing is probably one of my favorite Legal Matter vocal moments on record. There's a really, really interesting blend, and the song was kind of made for us in mind, with that kind of vocal thing. So, and then it ends in like a sheer chaos thing that with triple track drums, which was just another reason for us to try something different. And we had Donnie play 3 drum tracks, and I'm
wow.
like, you know what? Let's just use them all. We're paying them left, right, and center, and it's pretty bombastic.
And I love that being the last song on the album too, which is perfect.
We're all about epic last songs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Or I should say I am.
Hey.
I bring that up 80 times during the
There you
making of
go.
a record. This is the last song. This is the last song. This has to be the last song.
Every song has to be the last song. I love it. The next one I'm going to have on the shuffle here that I did here is The Painter.
Outside the lines, with color inside of your mind, you'll be the painter that the world will never know. And all the credit.
Yeah, The Painter was a song I wrote after Jeff Emmerich had passed away.
Oh, wow.
And as a profession, I am a recording engineer, like producer, so I work in a studio every day. So a guy like Jeff Emmerich is pretty high up on my Mount Rushmore of influences in my life. And I reached out to him about a year before he died, and we actually had a few messages back and forth, and he asked me to write like this small thing about his time and working for the Beatles and stuff. It was really bizarre, and I'm just like thinking to myself, it's like, man, one day I'm gonna have a beer with Jeff Emmerich. Like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna be just a life-changing moment. And anyway, he passed away, and I kind of wrote this song about him. He's kind of, you listen to a record like Sgt. Pepper, and his name should be right up there with John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Ringo, as far as his contribution to their music. But guys like that get so unnoticed sometimes, and but they still just love what they do. And so it kind of came from a place of trying to honor a guy that really did a lot for us. And I know collectively as a band, we're all Jeff Emmerich fans. So
there you go. Yeah, it's like the unsung hero type thing, and Sgt. Pepper's phenomenal. So it's one of the true like moments in history. I've watched so many documentaries, just Sgt. Pepper's brought up all the time. So it's perfect. The next one I have on the list here is A Memory of Sound.
A memory of sound, a memory of sound, a memory of sound.
can we get back to Chris? I'm just kidding.
I just shuffled these. I was like,
no, it's all good. A Memory of Sound was the last one that I brought in, and that's just our passion, it's kind of just like the passion and process of making music, with your friends, and kind of that magic moment when you kind of get it right on tape or on hard drive or whatever you're using. But yeah, it's basically just about the process of making art or making a record in a sense.
And I think it's the middle eight of that is, I think, one of my favorite moments on the record. It has, kind of Andy in the laboratory with a bunch of synth sounds, and then there's just a really cool, like, dissonant vocal blend that kind of falls through it. And I would say that's one of the highlight moments of the record for me.
Yeah, I that's a really good track on there. I really enjoyed that one. And the next one is another one that I really liked was Don't Read Between the Lines. Moving right into that one now.
When I walked in, everyone stopped talking. Could see it in their eyes. Don't read between the lines. What we don't know.
Yeah, that one, I always try to give a little nod to Elvis Costello.
There we go.
Each record I try to make. So I try to do, like, I can't do it. It's not a thing that's possible. But I feel that we kind of nailed that kind of like Elvis feel to it. It's got this like monster bass line that Andy laid down that really kind of drives that song. And I guess that song is really ultimately all about that, confidence. Don't get hung up on things that have nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, like that air that's like, makes you think that you could control it when it's really, just out there,
Yeah,
that's what I felt from that. I was like, that's really cool. Next up is You Sure Can't Blame Her.
Can't blame her. Better you than me. When you see her later.
You Sure Can't Blame Her. For me, it seems like that. I think it's my favorite track of my tracks on the record. And you shouldn't probably have your favorite track of songs that you've actually written.
Yes.
But this one had this, like, I think how it came out. I love the harmonies on that, and I love the feel of it. It kind of sounds like a high school dance song from, a very updated from like the 60s, but it has this great feel to it. Lyrically doesn't have a lot. I don't have much of a story for it, honestly, but there's a feel song. I like it.
Yeah, I like those songs that come around where there's like the stories, it's there, but it's like, just forming as it goes, but it has that motion, passion through it, which I love.
Right.
I definitely heard that in that one. And I believe next is the World Is Mine.
Can't you see the signs? We've taken all you've written and undone. Go and grab your gun.
Yeah, The World Is Mine was definitely a kind of an anti-Trump song. It could be about any dictator type frustrations on both sides, but this is the easiest way for me to kind of get stuff up like that off my chest, and the guys were definitely on the same page for sure. So yeah, but I mean, musically it's a lot of fun because it's really a simple song as far as like the chord progression and stuff, and that really frees us up to do a lot of crazy vocal stuff. And as Chris said, this would be my favorite song of mine on the record. It kind of shows what we can do within an easy framework of a song, because it's basically just all verse, but we figured out a way to make the song grow as it progresses, and stuff like that is a lot of fun, because then we get really weird with vocals, and it does feature Chris's Tom Waits impersonation very in the faint background doing a harmony, and it's so that's a great memory attached to that.
Yeah, and I'm full agreement with you guys. It's been such a downing on everybody to we went through that, with.
Yeah, and I think that when we look back at it, or however we decide to reflect upon it, it's good that we have music and
Agreed.
people to talk to about things like that too. And it's it's okay to challenge any person or being on this planet if you don't agree with what
Yeah.
they're doing, and it doesn't matter whether it's a crappy teacher or what, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so it's just, it was a good therapeutic thing for me to get out. I've never been much of a political guy, and this was kind of a step for me to kind of be comfortable doing something like that too. So it means a lot that Chris and Keith, are cool with all, because you put a song on a record, and it reflects everybody on the record,
Yeah.
regardless of who wrote it. So when we have songs, we really respect the idea that the other people would want their name attached to it too. So, but luckily everything we've brought in so far, we're all pretty much like, yeah, that's a song, let's record it, So
Awesome.
we don't
awesome.
really have any moments like that, like, yeah, that one's really not gonna cut the
Ringo,
mustard,
I'm gonna have Ringo put the song up on the fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Our Ringo is Keith.
Why is everybody laughing?
No. I'm sorry.
He didn't even bring us a song to put on the fridge this time.
I'm enjoying that right now. I'll tell you. The reason that I didn't have a sound this time was for this exact reason right now.
Just for this one moment. This
Yeah.
kid Jebb was going to reach out to us, ask us to be on the podcast, and say, hey.
Song by song. I just
Song
get
by
to
song.
listen.
There we
Keith
go.
is a visionary. I mean,
I like it.
I won't doubt it.
Keith, I do have a special question for you at the end, just to talk about, if you would like, about Future Men Records and all that, if you would feel that you wanted to. But we do have one last song, which is Please Make a Sound.
Yeah, this was the last song that I brought to the project. And this one came, I would say, 3 months into the pandemic, and it inspired me to write a song, but I was seeing what was happening all around us on social media, and seeing artists perform songs live on Facebook or doing like live Instagram things. And actually, like, because Brendan Benson was doing one at like
Love Brendan.
He was doing like things at like 4:20 every Thursday or whatever.
It's perfect.
And it was inspirational in the sense that I always knew where I was going to be to watch that, and it was always entertaining. He could do a new song or an old song. So I started to kind of conceptualize the whole idea that during this pandemic, we needed music more than ever to get through what we didn't know was going to be the end or the beginning or the middle. So Please Make a Sound was essentially me saying, my God, we need music more than ever.
Let's do it.
And I needed music more than ever. My friends needed music more than ever. And I just put it in a song, and it felt right. And I'm proud how that one turned out.
Can I say that Chris sent me the demo for that song originally, and we did kind of a Helplessly Hoping thing, just with some stacked harmonies. And I got used to that version, but I'm so happy with how this eventually turned out. I love that song.
It's a fantastic one. Like I said, I'm like a fanboy over here, because I found you guys on Conrad, and I was like, I texted Andy right away, and I was like, yeah, do you want to come on the podcast? Just because I felt a big connection. And before I get to the Future Man Records questions and just talk about the label itself, who did the cover art for the Legal Matters Chapter 3?
It was a friend of my daughter's, Rachel Barlock, and she's a really cool artist.
Yeah.
So when we were coming up with the idea of the record, we didn't. The thing is, every time we make a record, we never really have a concept of what the cover is going to look like. And we were 2 for 2. The first one was simple, but at least it kind of took the meaning of the legal matters and made it more of like a lawyer's door. And then the second one, Conrad, absolutely turned out perfectly. This one, once we named it Chapter 3, I was like, if we could just make it look like a 60s like little kid's book. And so she took a picture of us and made this great kind of rendition of us. Then when she got done with it, I wanted to kind of surprise the guys because her art is really stemmed in. She really draws animals really cool. And her company is called Hazel and Dolly. You can check out her stuff. She's all over Instagram and stuff. But she could draw pets. Really cool. So I asked her if she could kind of make us into house pets. I was just going to surprise the guys with just a fake alternative cover version. And she did this amazing print of Andy as a hamster.
That's awesome.
Myself as a dog.
Can you see that? It's on Chris's voice right now.
Oh, is it? Perfect. Let me just check real quick here.
In his little window.
Oh, I don't. They're all just the. I'll have you guys, if you can, send a picture. I'll look at the picture.
Oh, for sure.
Messages.
No.
I'm a Saint Bernard, and Keith is a parakeet, which we call Parakeith.
Oh, I like that.
And it's so what we ended up doing is that we're going to do like special editions of the record on the pre-orders on Future Man. The pre-orders, there's one where you can actually get a signed alternative cover with this animal print, and it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of art. I couldn't be more happy with both covers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and we also have like packages on there for the vinyl, CD, and the special order digital thing where you can get like instrumental. I made mixes of just the music part kind of thing.
You guys did that for Conrad too, right?
Yeah,
we
did a
vocals. That's right.
Yep. So there's lots of things on our Bandcamp that you can kind of go check out and see if any of that hits your.
Yeah, I'll have you guys send me all the links, and then I'll put them down below so people could just like click right on them and go right to it. It'd be perfect.
Awesome. No, thank you for doing that.
No worries. I love finding bands that I really enjoy, and I do a radio show as well called Unlikely Places Pop and Rock Radio, and I'll probably play some of your songs once they're out, and with your guys' permission, of course. So I'll probably play some Conrad stuff too. But it's just really fun to be doing music because I've always loved talking music with anybody, and when to actually be able to talk to bands that I like, it's beyond amazing. It started with the Posies and led up, on and on. So it was just really cool to find.
Well, going downhill from there, man.
No, I don't think so.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Posies, and now I have the legal matters. It's just like,
man, I think music speaks on so different volumes. It doesn't matter, I love it.
Well, we're just huge fans of those guys. So I mean,
me too.
Those guys are so.
Ken and John will be on a new song of mine, so I'll send them your way.
Oh well, that's kind of a bucket list thing that can be checked off, right?
As soon as they said that they would do it, I even messaged Jody Stevens at Big Star, but I'm kind of tempted on. I'll have to wait a little bit, but there's so much things that are exciting about that. But it's just I write nonstop. But onto the record label questions for Keith. Keith gets to talk.
Yay!
Yeah. So Keith, when did Future Man Records start?
The first project that we ever did was a Who Sell Out tribute, and that was back in like 1999, 2000. We never got it out, failure, but that record ruled. So when digital became a thing, which was 2012 for me, I decided just to put that up digitally. And things just moved on from there. So it's been fun.
Very cool. Yeah, I just the Who Sell Out, the big box set just came out, I believe, or if it's in pre-order. I forget if it came out or if it's in pre-order. But
pre-order. We're all anxiously awaiting.
I know. I might actually order with my lovely stimulus check. I will definitely might be ordering for that. Very happy about having money to be able to do that.
Well, here's a weird legal matters like crossing paths story. So. What did you say, Keith? Like 19? It had to have been around 99, 2000 that you kind of were doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my buddies were in a band called the Atomic Numbers, and they actually recorded a song for Keith's tribute record. Now, this is
They did Odorono.
Odorono, and they're like, hey, we did this at Brendan Benson's studio. You should go there and do your record, because I was in a band too. And then, of course, we went and recorded with Brendan, and I heard his version of Dr. Doctor. But here it is, 20-some late years later, or however many years later, we finally meet. But yeah, I mean, we've been in the same orbit for 20-some years.
Oh, very cool.
Within like our friends and stuff like that too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's funny because Hupp was in the Atomic Numbers, and that's who is credited for bringing us together.
And that's who also told us to go record at Brendan.
Yep, he's the linchpin here.
Yeah, Brendan Benson's I'm a big fan of him too, and he got to work with the Posies, on one of his albums, and I'm a big fan of that one too. And it was like, ooh.
He got to work with Andy Reid.
Oh, that's awesome!
No.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's sick.
If he can make Andy Reid sound good, then he's pretty dang good. So
I'd love to meet him one day.
But no, that was a long time ago.
That's awesome.
He was living in Detroit, and he had an all analog studio, but that's it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. So, but like I said, years later, you keep in contact with the people, because Brendan lived in Detroit, and Chris and Keith live in Detroit, and I'm up in Bay City, so I'm kind of an hour and a half, 2 hours away from everything. But I had a lot of Detroit friends, so we've been kind of lingering for years in the same kind of scene.
Very cool. Yeah, because I understand the whole like sending files and stuff. We had a band called Your Friend Jebb, still in the works, and we were sending tracks to Lisa Michaels, Tom Richards, who are in Cali. I'm in Connecticut, and the keyboardist is in Ohio, and then we had Arthur Roberts from the Posies as our bass player, and he's in Seattle, I think. So it was like, it was like all over the place. But it's a lot easier now to make records. That's for sure. It's pretty cool. I'd have to say it's totally cool. Social media being a negative and a positive. The positive really is for musicians to be able to meet and be able to send music, which is amazing. But I want to thank you.
We didn't do anything remotely though. This is all in person.
Oh, okay. Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Everything was done here.
Yeah, it's possible, but we've never had to resort to it.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, thank you guys for coming on. A huge honor to have you guys on. I'm very excited for this new album, and I'm sure the fans coming to look here ready for Chapter 3, I think.
Awesome.
We hope they will enjoy it.
Yeah, I know. I'll have to, once it comes out, I'll show my dad, and he'll probably love it to death because he just loves power pop so much.
Well, he better then.
Yeah, oh yeah, he must. It's a law. It's the legal matter,
It's true.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Andy, and thank you, Chris.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks, Jeremy.
No problem, guys.